Media Talks, the podcast that helps to better understand the world of media and video advertising.
Hello, Media Talk listener, and welcome back. For this spring edition, we're turning to Belgium, where we're going to talk about some of the advancements that have taken place in the linear addressable front. Proximus was one of the first telco operator to embark in the linear addressable journey, starting back in 2016. It has been a complex journey, one with many learnings and some great innovation, which have led to this interesting position that Proximus now has in the market. So what happened over the past few years? How has Proximus approached linear addressable? What have been some of the biggest challenges and the next phase of the developments? These are some of the questions we're going to cover with our guest today, Bart Swimberghe. Bart, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
So Bart, just before we start, just for the benefit of our listener, could you just quickly introduce yourself and then give us maybe a sort of quick overview of what Proximus is and its position in the market?
Yeah, so good afternoon. I'm Bart. I'm responsible for all advertising services and data monetization at Proximus. For those who are not familiar with Proximus, we are the national telco leader in Belgium, active both in the north and the south, because we're a very specific country, having two languages, even three. And so that's one of the already a key challenge that we had to overcome is a small country in a complex setup.
Very good. It would be kind of useful maybe to give us a short history of what the teams of Proximus have sort of been working on over the past sort of a few years to get into linear addressable and sort of what has been the journey.
Yeah, so I think it was really quite a challenge. First of all, we are a telco company and we were not really into advertising or media as such. So it was, first of all, a challenge to convince our CEO and our management to invest in addressable advertising. So as you said, back in 2016, we started with our visions and plans, and it took some time to start working on it. I think convincing our CEO was maybe the least, because back in the day, it was Dominique Leroy, and she was really having a background in marketing. So she was quickly convinced of this project. And then we started developing, which took a lot of time over a few years, certainly on the set-top box, a very big challenge there. But then we launched in the end, in the early days of 2020, our addressable TV solution. And back in the days, you only had like Sky AdSmart in the UK, which was our big example. But Sky, they have their own channels, which we don't. We have a couple of own TV channels, but they are not mainstream, not major channels. So we were really depending on agreements with the broadcasters. So in Belgium, you have the north and the south, and you have two big ones in the north and two big ones in the south. So our biggest first challenge was also to convince those partners to invest with us and to go in this journey together with us, to find a business model that was viable for all parties. So that was really the complexity that we had versus like Sky AdSmart, because it's easy to do it for your own channels, but if you have to convince and find a model together with 4 different partners, that was a challenge which we overcame. One of the key things as well in the beginning is that we really, from the start, had like a, let's say, ecosystem mindset, partnership mindset, that really thinking on an industry level, across telcos as well, together with Telenet and the other broadcasters, really quickly in the early days, we came together and started to really think about how can we make this easy for the advertisers, for the market, how can we standardize. And I think that's really one of the key things to do in the market, to really think, okay, I'm not alone in this story. I need to work together. My telco is not my competitor. The other telcos, it's the partner working on the same challenges. So I think that was really one of the the key success stories criteria here in Belgium.
And when you say standardization, what do you mean in terms of standardization? Standardizing what?
Yeah, so there were different areas of standardization, and one of the key areas was the data and the segmentation, where we made standard agreements on what kind of segments, how would we call those segments, how would we make those segments, and what do you understand when we talk about, a food lover or a cooking lover, what should we understand when we talk about that kind of people, of that kind of segments. And so it really was about aligning that kind of information, and avoid that one uses a car lover and the other one calls it an automobile lover, whatever. So that's one area. Another area was about the kind of reports we would offer to an advertiser to avoid that he gets the same kind of measurement, the same kind of reports, and the same currency as well. Little things like, do we talk about households in addressable advertising, or do we talk about set-top boxes as a currency? All that kind of stuff we agreed upon on an industry level, just standardizing the market and making it really easy for the agencies and the advertisers, actually.
So you make a good point. So that's really an industry level. So it's everyone, so the other telcos as well as the broadcasters and the buy side.
Totally, yeah. The history is that one of the big advantages we had in the days as well is that we used to have a digital sales house, which is called Skynet, which was really into digital advertising. And as from the start, we really had this future thinking of, okay, this must be digital and digital ready. And so we reflected on, okay, we need to have an ad server, we need to do it the digital way in terms of reporting, in terms of all of the things that we used to do in digital to bring it to TV. And that was really from the start our mindset. And I think that it really helped us in making the right choices for the future, versus maybe others. We had this really advantage. And so that's also, by the way, one of the reasons we came to Freewheel, because it was really with the digital mindset and a digital ad server with all of the capabilities we would expect from digital into TV. And that really made it easier to build upon that. I have a real ad server as well on our side.
So in some ways, where are you now, and how has the sort of the market responded, when I said how are the marketers, and I mean the agencies and obviously the advertisers themselves, how are they taking sort of advantage of the opportunity?
Since early 2020, we are in production. We are live on the 4 broadcasters, which is DPG and SBS Ads and Data in the north, and then RTL and RTBF in the south. We have about, just for your info, about 1.3 million of set-top boxes that are addressable enabled. Soon we will add 200-300 on top of that, because our new generation of set-top box will also be enabled for addressable advertising. And we're active both in linear live TV as in catch-up TV, and this on the set-top box and also on mobile and our applications. So that's where we are today. As I said, we started in 2020, the year COVID started, and 2021 was really the first full year of activity. And ever since, we saw really great growth numbers in terms of numbers of campaigns, volumes, the types of advertisers. We have seen a lot of different advertisers coming to addressable TV, from rather regional advertisers to really the big national advertisers as well, until niche advertisers that were really looking into very specific target groups. So we have seen a pretty good uptake with a various number of advertisers.
So exactly, I was going to ask: is it? What do you see? Do you see more? It's a variety of advertiser, or do you see like even smaller advertisers, sort of? I would say maybe the small and medium size enterprises coming into addressable TV, or not yet?
Yeah, so we have seen a big variety, and also the smaller advertisers have come have done campaigns, so it's really difficult to say. So some of them are new for TV, like 50% is new for TV, 50% has done TV already, or just came back to TV. So you see a big variety there, and an important point is as well. As a telco, we are the enabler of the broadcaster, and it's in the end the broadcaster themselves that commercialize the product. Huh? But what we do try is to evangelize the market as a telco operator, to explain what's possible through our partners on addressable advertising.
And where do you see that kind of linear, addressable versus digital? How do you see those two getting together?
Yeah. So that's I think one of the next things we're working on already is really connecting the dots between linear TV advertising, addressable TV advertising, and even digital advertising. So we're really working on some capabilities and have worked on some capabilities to be able to start connecting those dots. And so today, what we have done in a POC modus is we identified who has seen a linear campaign through our set-top box log files and our the marking of the streams. We have been able to identify who has seen a linear campaign and then make it a new custom segment for addressable advertising. And the use case there is really incremental reach generation. So as you know, you have this linear campaign, and at a certain point you get to a saturation where you need to repeat a lot the same message to build your audience and to increase the unique reach of your campaign. So at a certain time we stop the linear campaign, and then we continue on the non-exposed audiences in addressable to really, in a more efficient and effective way, build up your unique reach of your campaign. Then we have done a first test case together with RMB in Belgium for the solo advertiser, where we have done this for the first time, combining a linear campaign followed up by an addressable campaign to generate incremental reach. And I think that's very promising. The results were really great. And the objective is to do that for all broadcasters and advertisers in Belgium. And so this is really a capability we have built to be able to identify who has a linear campaign, who has an addressable TV campaign, and to be able to make custom segments upon that. And that enables, like I said, this incremental use case, but also remarketing, storytelling, where we would like first have a first commercial spot show to a target group, and then as the moment they have seen it, show a second commercial that in a kind of storytelling modus. And then coming also to digital. So last year we started a new joint venture together with Telenet SBS and Mediahuis in Belgium, where we are shareholder, which is called Ads and Data. It's really the promise is about gathering the data of the partners and being a digital sales house or sales house in general using data. And there also the ambition is to really make the bridge between TV and digital, where we are able to say, okay, who has seen a linear campaign or addressable campaign, and how can we activate this same segment also in digital, to exclude them, to include them, to do storytelling, and that's really the next step. We're not yet there, but that's really what we're working on in the market in the coming, let's say, this year. Yeah.
I would say, that's the project for this year, really, is to get that going.
Yes.
What would you say is one of the biggest challenge here? What do you need to solve to get that, to bridge that bridge between the TV and the digital?
Yeah, I think first of all, so privacy and legal compliancy. I think the way we did business in the past is we thought about business cases and ways to do it technically, and then only we came to the legal aspect right at the end. I think the mindset more and more, at least for me, and I think Proximus, is to be like privacy first, it's maybe exaggerated, but to bring privacy really at the start of every process, and when you think about how we're gonna do that, to also think about how are we gonna privacy-wise solve things, and that's one of the major challenges if you think about bridging digital and TV, is to overcome the privacy challenge and do this in a transparent, GDPR compliant way towards our customers, because at the end, that's what's important for a telco. We have our customers, and we need to respect their privacy status. So that's one of the challenges. Of course, you have the technical challenges linked also to the privacy part, but not only. For sure, how to deal with that, how to deal with the consents in the different platforms. That's definitely also a challenge. Yeah.
We're already reaching the end of our sort of podcast. So thank you for sharing all this. So the only last question I have, which is I'll tend to end all my podcasts with a kind of a similar question to all my guests. And it's more of a personal question. I just wanted to ask you if you could share or tell us something that you deeply care about.
So yeah, what I deeply care about is people. I have 4 children at home, so I'm always busy entertaining my children. And it's a bit the same thing with my friends. I play padel, and I'm always organizing stuff with my friends. And a bit the same for at work. I love to work with my team, be together with them. With COVID, we were all less in the office, but I think in the coming periods, we're all going to go back and meet each other again. And also in the industry, meeting other people, I think that's really, really interesting. And that's what I really deeply care about.
Bart, thank you ever so much for sharing all this and being with us today. It's been a great pleasure to have you on our Media Talk podcast. And we make sure that we keep an eye on the developments and how you've been sort of bridging TV and digital in particular. And maybe we'll ask you to come back in a few months. We will return next month with more stories and insights. And as always, if you, listener, have any ideas or any specific requests of topics you'd like us to cover, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Until next time, thanks for listening and goodbye.